sure. My name is Julian Sundstrom. I'm born and raised in Sweden. I came over to LA about 2 years ago, where I'm studying at UCLA Extension. I started out with film and TV development, which is where I met Brooks in my very first class.
Oh, is that right? That was your first. That was your first class.
Yeah, it was my first. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
All uphill from there, then, right? So,
yeah, of course.
What was that? What was the biggest takeaway from that class?
Well, first and foremost, I think coming over to LA for the first time, it was pretty much my first week. And obviously, I've studied film before, but I've never done it in Los Angeles, which is, I guess, the capital of the world, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I got to pick up on a lot of things that I didn't really know that much about. Especially, we dealt mostly with writing coverage in your class.
And that story analysis class, right?
Yeah, and that was something that I'd never done before. I'd written development notes and so forth, but I had no idea what coverage was or what it looked like at this point. So just being able to learn about this very important aspect of the industry, and also being able to build a portfolio with your help, so that I could, because I'm sending those script coverages out to this day when I'm applying for internships.
Nice.
And obviously they're some of the best ones, because I was able to get feedback and I was able to polish them a little bit more. So just industry-wise, I learned a lot about the industry within your first class, which was super, super helpful. As you know, I'm working at getting internships, and I'm well about to get into the industry pretty soon, within the next couple of months, when I'm done with my degree. So I guess that was my biggest takeaway.
Nice. Well, one of the things I really liked about you as a student is you really came up and asked questions. Like we had that for your class, we did that one session where it was like, look, it's going to be open time. You guys can use it however you want. You can take off if you want or whatever. And you came right up and you asked questions, and that just makes a really big difference. So it was really a pleasure to work with you. Because when you have that mindset of saying, look, I've got an opportunity to talk to somebody who's got some information, and you just this question, that question. And then, as you said, then the results are now you've got coverage that's not just kind of good enough to pass a class or whatever, but it's actually a real document that can help you advance your career in the development world.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously coming over completely green, and having someone almost take on a mentor role. I feel like that's what you did from the very start. And maybe, as you say, that's because I ask questions, but I love what I'm doing. But it's hard. It's a difficult industry, and you need people on your side, especially people with experience and that are as professional and knowledgeable as you. So, I guess that's probably keep in touch until this very day, continuously.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing too. Is that when when opportunities come up, and they do, because I've been in the business for so long, and I have things come up, and I knew that tell them about the crowdfunding project that I brought you into, or I got you the interview for.
Yeah. So of course. So I was pretty much just going through classes, doing my regular part-time job at the campus. And Brooks reached out to me with an opportunity where a filmmaker was developing a short film, and he had written a couple of scripts before and directed a couple of movies, and he was very talented. And Brooks, I guess you were brought on as a professional consultant.
As a consultant, yeah. So yeah, because I do some consulting for any phase of the movie business, but I like working on crowdfunding projects. But my rate is too high to kind of do everything they need to be the director of a thing. For most movies, I mean, for other products I could do it, but for most movies they're not raising that much money, so it doesn't quite make sense for me. But I knew somebody like you who was very savvy and smart and would go after it, would be able to put in the time, and it would make sense. So it was a pleasure for me to say, look, I know this guy who I think could be a superstar for you. So it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And this guy, we went to an interview, and we were pretty similar in the way that we work. and he brought me on to do a lot of things, I guess, under the tutelage of Brooks, and it would be mostly concerning the crowdfunding campaign, but also in terms of developing a social media strategy, marketing strategy, developing the entire campaign from scratch, working with him and the actors and actresses on how they should get involved in the campaign as well. So that was just amazing, and I was able to be on that project for just over 4 months.
Yeah.
Pretty much until the end of the crowdfunding campaign,
and then they ended up making they made it a feature, right?
Yeah. So it was written to be a short film, I believe, 20 minutes roughly, and he ended up shooting and editing an entire feature that's now doing the rounds in festivals, and it's already won a couple of national and international film festivals, so it's doing really, really well.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I mean, look, it's a difficult business, but if you make a lot of solid best practice choices, you can really create work that sets itself apart. So what last thing is any advice for somebody that might be thinking about bringing me on as working with me as a mentor, maybe in the mentorship group or whatever?
Well, I would probably just say that the most important advice that I can give is just to listen and accept feedback. I mean, I would say from everything that you've given me so far, you really do know what you're talking about, and you have a very passionate way of putting it. That's something for me as a writer that I struggled with for many years back in the day, was accepting feedback, because I took everything as criticism of myself rather than of my work.
Yeah.
But I think that once you can just get over that little ego bubble and start accepting that, okay, this is about the work and how to improve that, and you can be open to that, all of a sudden all kinds of doors will open. But other than that, I mean, I see us more as friends now than anything else.
Yeah.
When we talk, it's in a very friendly manner, and I just really appreciate everything that you're offering me, and I will take it and I will listen.
Julian, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure
No
to work with you and become your friend. It's been great.